Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is April the 14th, 2023 and it's 10 o'clock p.m. or a little bit after. Tucker and I are working together behind the scenes and we're just rolling this out. We're trying my new system from his location and I wanted to thank you guys for being patient as we worked out all of the logistics. And Joe back home working out things for us there as well. So first and foremost, thank you Tucker for joining me tonight so we can roll out this, using this section 1 together.
You are so welcome, Donna.
So thank you Becca if you're in the chat for sending your viewers over. We greatly appreciate it. This is definitely a different view than what you're used to seeing on my end. So I'm going to hand the rein over to Tucker real quick and let him do some talking as well.
Okay, and I think we're getting a little bit of mixing because of the audio, so maybe Donna's microphone will get shut off because her voice carries just a wee bit. Should we cut it off?
Please.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So, Donna is at my house. Wait a minute. Should we switch to prove it? See? Look at that. We did the Becca and Ian switch.
So anyway, tonight Tucker's going to sew from this side of the house. I'll be on the other side sewing up a storm over there and working on some behind the scenes stuff. But what we're doing tonight is section 1 piecing. And I've already began sewing together section 2 and so far I'm up to number 26. So I do want to point out that number 19 was a very large section, so if you're still working on it, hang tight, stick with it. You'll have to roll it a little bit and pin it, but you'll be able to get that right in. So let's do our switchback.
Switcheroo. We're switching. We're switching. Yeah. So this behind me is actually not my tiger. This is Donna's tiger. My tiger has not even been born yet. This past week when Donna was up here, and we'll tell you all about the fun adventures we've been having so far along the way. But over the past week, I finally got all the fabric to start my tiger, and I finally got the paper printed. So I will soon be starting this project, probably, you know, a little bit later, but I'll get caught up in no time.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start sewing.
Go
if
ahead.
you want to...
I'm switching over to live chat so that I can see everyone. Too cute, you guys. I think they're playing musical chairs. Absolutely.
Yep.
To my husband that's missing me back home, thank you for watching all of the pets.
Yes. And thank you for letting Donna come play. She has been using and abusing the long arm that you see behind her. So why don't you tell them a little bit about the whole reason for this trip?
This has been a blast. So I did come down for Tucker to work on piecing this to show you the different versatilities of the way to piece this together. But my Bargello was way too large for my long arm. So we've managed to get it loaded on Tucker's with a scant little dab of room.
And you can see it back there.
I will bring my well, you've seen my Bargello. I think we've showed you little tidbits along the way. Are you sure Donna's mic is picking her up, Becca said. We've shut my mic off because I carry, he said. Just a little bit. So Becca, let me know if you can still hear me. But we're going to be taking a really good solid picture of my Bargello tomorrow, hanging off of the balcony and giving you a really good view. And then when I get it home, I'll be able to showcase it as well. We're doing our bedroom over, and I'm going with a beach vibe theme. My walls, my granddaughter and I painted a few years back, and it's my carpet's tan, like with the sand on the beach would be. My walls are like pretty shades of blue, and then I have clouds on the ceiling. So it's just going to give it that really relaxing. I can't get to the Bahamas, so why not bring the Bahamas to me?
That's right.
So, thank you, Dahlia, and thank you, Julie. You're saying you can hear me quite well. You're all very welcome. Debt-free quilter. Hey, Joe. Yeah, he every once in a while, the hubby needs a break, so why not send me away, right?
That's right.
And why not send me to a good undisclosed location?
That's right.
And we've had a blast. Hubby could honestly track me by my Apple card, but he's got a tracker on the phone anyway. But we have managed to do quite a bit of shopping. I picked up an amazing Christmas quilt kit, and I got it at half price, so I couldn't go wrong there. Then I totally scored the entire backing, 5 yards of fabric for $12 today.
Yep.
At another quilt shop. I've gotten to meet Tucker's grandma. We've hung out with his mom. It's just all around been a good trip.
Yeah.
Janine says, I sound good, but just kind of far away. That's okay.
Yeah.
Sister Chicks, your quilt is beautiful. I saw it today on your short. Yes. I have the pattern as well and love stitching it out. It is beautiful. I love all the seashells on it, all the ocean vibe themes. Day, I love it. Sister Chicks, you got my heart, baby. I love it. Joe gets to relax a little bit now. No, he's actually going to be quilting, not quilting, but fixing wherever we messed up, getting started. So he'll shave that off the front end tomorrow. Donna, you look so beautiful tonight. Thank you. There's no, we had a little bit of sunshine today. Well, a whole lot of sunshine. And thank you, Susie. I greatly appreciate it. So let me see. What else do we have going on tonight? I'm telling you, I've got my grandson's boho heart quilt on the long arm now. I went ahead and brought some other larger projects. While I was going to be here, I figured he had the Pro Stitcher. Am I saying it right?
The Statler.
The Statler. I'm sorry. The Statler. And it had a large
throat
space that we could do the large quilts that my machine wouldn't handle on a normal basis. So it's going to be a fun time. You need to watch what you're buying. The van is full. Wait a minute. The van was full when you left and you didn't have tie downs on the roof racks. Joseph Struntz, I love you. Joe is quilting now. You too, Joe. Yeah, I'm going to bring him to the dark side. Our treasured heart, hello and welcome. I didn't slip into the chat and tell everybody hello, but you know, Joshua will probably have stuff mailed him. Dahlia, I did. Shh, don't tell him.
Nope.
That might be the package that he had delivered at the house today. He shook something and he calls and he goes, hey, you got a package and it's really soft. It feels like fabric. You never know. Joe the tech guy, does the van have a hitch? If so, renter you. I don't have a van, I have an SUV. Thank y'all very much.
And guess what? If it did, she'd be driving home with a Statler.
Absolutely. So, another part of my trip entails, is it alright if I tell them?
I don't.
Tucker has his learner's permit now. So, with Joe's blessing, I get 4 days of Tucker driving me all over, driving Miss Daisy all over Pennsylvania. So he can get some drive hours in while his mom works. So it's kind of like we're having a blast.
Yep.
He knows where every quilt shop is.
That's right.
He has you covered, Donna. She's greeting everyone. Thank you.
Yes.
Because I didn't slip back in, and I humbly apologize for that. Normally I would welcome everybody as they came in.
We had some...
and Julie and everyone, all of my mods, and my tech guy at home. Thanks for having my back tonight. It's a little challenging when you're going from home. I'm finishing my Bargello now. I'm telling you, it is fun.
Yes. Yep.
I've made my, let me see, we've quilted the Bargello.
That took
like 9 hours on the Statler. Longer than what we anticipated, but it was an extremely, it was what, 118 inches?
Yep.
By 118.
Yeah.
So it's the largest quilt that I've ever made, and it will adore my bedroom and it'll just be the finishing touches that it needs. It's hard to catch everyone in a chat, absolutely. So let me see, we did that. I've made the binding for that. We've got the boho heart on now. I've made the binding for that. We've got 2 specialty quilts and then a few small ones that I brought just to see some of the different stitches that he has. I am going to be talking to Joe tomorrow. We did see an amazing deal at a quilt shop, and if Joe gives me his blessing, I'll be upgrading my long arm with a pro stitch. So we're going to check that out again tomorrow. I want to know before you buy, that this is exactly what I want.
Yep.
And I really like it. I love my panographs. I love my ruler work, but there's that time that you just need something a little extra special.
Yep.
So I'll be talking to the hubs later tonight or tomorrow about that because I honestly slipped. I didn't tell him. Hint, hint, if he's still in the chat. What? He goes,
is that really?
Yeah, I'm hooked, babe. I had a horrible idea of making a bargello out of honey buns. Talk about punishing yourself. Oh my gosh. You should look at Amy's, Heather. I'm telling you, it's off the hook. I've seen a lot of pretty quilts in my time, but Amy's, hers took it to a whole new level. And then Janine's, the way that she had the movement in hers. Now, I really like that as well. Mine has the ocean wave. And you'll be able to see that when we showcase it better tomorrow.
Yep.
I did a lot of shorts and stuff so that I could show Joe all the goodness of having a Statler, but I know he's not going to let me have a Statler. But maybe the Pro Stitch, I can talk about that one. Go for it, Donna. I love my Gamble Statler. There's nothing I can't do. I'm telling you right now, when we loaded the bargello, it was tight. But we knew it would not fit my machine when I made it.
Yep.
So I reached out to Tucker and said, look, I'm going to make the world's biggest quilt that I've ever made. Can I use your machine? And he's like, come on, let's do it.
Yep.
So I think I promised to buy Handmade by Ying. Her old woman, she upgrades. Now I'm going to be in trouble. Linda, probably. I've seen it, just remember that the honey bun is only 1.5 inches. Absolutely. Yep. So we'll just have to play it by ear. I'm going to go test drive it again tomorrow, and then I'm going to call my quilt shop back home as well and just do the price comparison, and we'll see.
Yep.
Keeper's been watching, but just figured out how to read the chat. Oh, God bless you, Susan. I hope you made it to your beach vacation and you're having a blast. The Statler is a nice machine. I got to play on one at a quilt show, the guy who sews.
Yes.
I tell you what, I've learned a lot that this has that my machine doesn't. The roll bar, how it looks like a great big, like a
hand wheel.
A hand wheel on a ship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That is mind-blowing to me. Mine doesn't have that. I am the handle. I have to hand do it.
The hydraulics.
Yeah, it's got the hydraulics so I can raise it and lower it. Yep. I'm really having a blast. I kind of wish I'd have brought more. But then I don't know if I'd ever get home.
Oh, yeah.
I just did one for a customer. It was 120 by 136. It's crazy fun to do one that big. I'm telling you what, I've never done one this big. It was 4 what was it, jelly rolls, Tucker, and then I added a 8-inch border all the way around. And it's just, I wanted it big. My husband's 6'4", and I wanted it to really be able to drape our bed and look amazing. And I've got one jelly roll all done. We went ahead and quilted it in the same, and I'll have to get with Tracy over to Sewing Channel and find out how she did her hotel pillow shams. I think they're pretty, and that'll be an extra added bonus to make this all come together. Quilt-As-You-Go, Donna, I had a Notting Pro with a 30-inch throat and Intel quilter computer on a 14-foot hydraulic table. Quilt-As-You-Go, I bet it was amazing. Let me see. Yes, having a lot of fun. Susan, I hope that your foot is feeling better. Hello, Carissa. I just saw you. Let me see. I tell you what, I can't say enough about this Statler. I know it's just not doable. I would have to have Joe get me a house, a bigger house. Dean Birmingham. Well, the hugs. I can't tell you no after your great sales pitch this evening. I'm telling you. You got to do what you got to do. He can always tell me no. But very rarely, if he ever does, there's always a reason. It's like, we do the wants, the needs. Wait a minute, the needs, the wants, and then gotta haves.
Yep.
So it's not a need. It's a want. But I gotta have it. It was awesome. His name was Kermit. That's cool.
Yeah.
I named my long arm rose. That was my mother's favorite flower.
Yep. And I mean, there are different variations of, you know, Statler out there. They have, which is discontinued for right now, the Elevate, which is the baseline computer model. It doesn't have the big computer on, you know, and it can come in like an 18-inch machine instead of the 36. So there's, you know, options for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
There's my sales pitch.
If you get the new machine, then we're definitely going to have to open the quilt shop. He knows what to say. Hi Brenda. Tucker, have you named your Statler yet?
Wrong button. My Statler is named D, and it's named after look at this. It's named after my great grandmother who helped me get the machine. You see that?
And I don't know how you're going to work that in.
Move it on.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
It's all right.
You see pin here. And that's your part. No, you're taking 12 into 15. Are you supposed to put 12 to 15? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
That's all right. I'll just move right along. So, for everyone, I would be careful putting the 11, 12, 15, 14 pieces together. It's a little bit different. And I might have even put it together wrong because I was too busy yapping. But in the pattern, it will tell you what order to put your stuff together in.
Right. So let me see the chat. If you get a new machine, you're definitely going to have to open a quilt shop. Husband, I love you, but no, I'm not opening a quilt shop. And let me see. Hi Brenda, Quilt-As-You-Go, Tucker. Yes, we've seen that. Just saying. Joe says, just saying. Trying to keep foot up. Okay, yeah, you need foot nice.
I guess
Peacemakers is the name of our guild. Really, Brenda? That's cool. I really like my Peacemaker. At Donna Pro Stitcher on your machine will be fabulous. I think so too. Mine is olive after my grandmother too. Love those grandmas.
Yep.
Absolute. That is so neat to name the machine after your grandma.
Yep.
Donna, don't open quilt shop. Huge investment just in fabric. Online makes it too competitive. Ask me how I know. Tell my husband, because he keeps wanting to open a quilt shop.
And then
because our house is kind of like overflowing. But it's okay. There's always room to keep the husband, right? The fabric. I can have it all, right?
He can sleep on fabric. Get rid of the bed. Just
get
sleep
rid of
on
the bed
fabric.
when you start stacking quilts. I love quilts, but I also love him, so it's a win-win.
Okay, let me pick this piece apart. I did figure out what I did.
Did you piece them together wrong?
And I'll explain it. Because guess what? Tucker makes
rename your channel Handmade at Ying's Quilt Shop. Not gonna happen, Linda. I love you, babe, but not gonna happen.
Not today.
Not today, Tucker says. At K Tucker Sewing and Quilting. I tell you what, it's been a blast down here. I did not realize we're close to a town called Carlisle. We're close to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're close to, what's the other place?
York.
York. York, Pennsylvania. So it's in that surrounding area. And the amount of quilt shops, I'm telling you right now.
You never know what, because tomorrow it's supposed to be a rainy day, and we have some meetings. That was another reason. So maybe we'll just slip over to Lancaster and scout some quilt shops out that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Yeah, we got to get Tucker's drive time in tomorrow. And might be a few more quilt shops we need to hit.
Don't tell Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, you didn't hear that.
Joe, you didn't hear that. If this house gets any more crowded, you and me will be tripping over things, and then we'll have the sore feet like Susan. We're not hoarders, baby. Our house is organized quilt chaos.
Yep.
No, Donna likes to travel too much to run a quilt shop. Absolutely.
Okay.
I guarantee you. Tucker's going to explain how he's piecing this together.
Because my nutty self, my silly self, as Susan would say, we love Susan, would say. So, when I first started, you probably noticed that I picked up these two pieces right here. And if my brain would have worked and realized that I need to do this without a Y seam, I would have sewed this together, and then I would have sewed this onto this. You know, how a normal brain would work, but not me. I sewed this to this, and that was wrong. I'm supposed to sew this to this. So, silly mistake, but...
It's okay. That's how... It just shows you're human, too.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yep. That's right. No, but you came up on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I called you like Tuesday, and I said, hey, I have an idea. I thought, I'm going to pull a Donna. I came up with the craziest idea like she does. And then she calls me early in the morning and she's like, Tucker, do you have your agenda or your whatever? I have an idea. And I was like, I have this idea. I said, since you're so close, when you come this close, you have to go to Verna's. And when the retreat happens in June, there won't be any time left.
Right.
So I thought, while she's up here, she needs to come see Verna. So she agreed, and then I said, well, let's bring Grandma into this since she's on the way. So Donna came, and I drove up to Grandma's, picked Grandma up, drove to Verna's. We had a blast at Verna's.
Yes.
Verna was harassing me like she always does, and then she started harassing Donna. It was just great. And it's not like a harass. It's a
fun.
Playful harass. Yeah.
Yeah, we walk in and she goes, oh, here's my famous Tucker. He's too famous to shop here. And he goes, what?
What are you talking about?
And it just kept going from there.
Yeah.
But it's a very quaint Amish quilt shop. The fabric is like walking back in time.
There's
a lot of them are very, very, very old, and
she has a lot of like newer stuff like fossil ferns. She has every single Moda grunge that there is. She has every single Kona cotton, Moda, Bella solids. You know, since she is more of the, the Amish, she can't really. They don't
do that bright, bold in your face,
and they don't sell as much as a normal. What's a word for like in the town? A quilt shop more in the city.
Right.
Would sell. You know what I mean? So I expect that. But Verna's is a place where if you're looking for all the fabric you'll need for a quilt, if you want to do a rainbow quilt, you could make 50 of them in 50 different variations because she has so much fabric. It's just rows and rows of fabric. And then we go to Hoover, or Bernina's Hoover, whatever. What was it? I don't even remember. The Hoover place in Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, if you want to look it up. And they love it in there. Grandma loves it. And they love when they see me and Grandma coming in. And we walked in there and, they were talking to me, asking, some of the things that I was up to. Because they know I do YouTube and things like that, which is awesome. And they watch some of the videos. And we were hunting around, and, of course you find stuff. And here I have this, like, armful of stuff. And here Grandma's like, Tucker, what do you think of this? I'm like, oh, my gosh, she's going to tell me she wants me to sew up another kit or something. Oh, no, not Grandma. She's looking at the sewing cabinets. And I'm like, oh, it was really a nice cabinet. It was a custom made sewing cabinet that would have fit her Bernina.
Right, and it's Amish built.
Yep.
And it was heavy.
Yeah. And she's like, I need a new sewing cabinet. And she asked how much it was, and she was sold. And I said, Grandma, I said, can we fit this thing in the car? She said, well, we'll try. So before she even paid for it, we wheeled it out, unloaded her car, and somehow, some miracle, we got it to fit in the car. But we had to fold the seats down, and there was 3 of us, so 2 in the front, and someone had to be in the back. And everyone wanted me to drive.
You needed your drive time.
So I drove, and Grandma sat in the front, and we tried to convince Donna to sit in the front, but she wouldn't budge.
I am not disrespecting Grandma.
Oh my gosh. So she sat there like this, holding up the seat so she could drive home, or, sit in the car to drive home, because if she would have let the pressure go, she would have went like this.
Oh, absolute.
It was funny. And then we went out to eat, and then came back here. It was great. I had a blast.
I think it was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We both really, really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Do I have to sew 10 and 11 together? Yes. So you're going to sew 9 and 10 together if you're following the pattern. You're going to sew 14 to 15, then 16 to 15, then you're going to sew 11 and 12 together, 9 and 10 together, then sew 13. Nope. Sew the sections 8 and 9 together, sew that to 11 to 12, then sew 13 to that, and then sew that unit to this bottom unit here. If you're following along tonight.
No, Tucker and I won't be in South Carolina. There's a quilt festival down there the 20th through the 23rd in Charleston.
I know. I was just in Charleston.
He was away with his mom.
Is that you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, I've never heard that noise coming from the furnace before. Yes, I was in Charleston. We took a spring vacation down to Charleston, and it was gorgeous. And I have to say it, because I've been telling everyone, me and Isaac, any teenager aspires to have Gucci and Louis Vuitton. So me and Isaac went up in this store, because they have it on the main street in Charleston, and it would have been the first time we were in one of these bougie stores, Gucci or Louis or whatever you call it. We walked in there ready to buy something, didn't matter what it was, something. I was not very impressed with either store. Put it that way. There just wasn't uniqueness.
Right.
And that's what I look for. I look for the differently different. But put me in a Coach store, that's a different story. But I was not impressed at all. Okay, and then also on when you're sewing what am I talking about? When you're sewing 9 and 10 together, there is a very bulky seam right there. So take your time and make sure everything stays lined up as you're sewing. And it'll streamline easier. You're just putting me to work all weekend.
Yep.
Give it away, give it away, give it away. You have that puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have to do it the old school way of pick a number.
But I don't know if I want to get rid of that yet.
Do you want to put it together first?
Yeah, probably.
I have one. I bought one you can put together. Knowing you, when you're not sleeping, you'd have it together by morning.
Or less. Yeah.
It's all right.
Good night, husband. I love you too. Mr. Joe is now turning in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lollipop. Yes. Yeah. So It did take a lot longer than we expected today to quilt the words, Tucker. To quilt the Bargello. There we go. You know, that's because Donna was on the phone talking to every single person in the whole entire universe. And I didn't want the machine running, you know, at Statler speeds while she was on the phone. So I would turn it down or turn it off and wait for her to stop talking. Then I'd turn it back on again. Then somebody else would call. But that's all right.
Having business meetings while you're on the road.
Well, you got to keep it running.
Mm-hmm. You got to run business when you're not home.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Hey, Donna, I bought my dryer sheets to try the blocks. Oh my gosh, Tony, you will love them. Love, love, love. They smell so cool. I'm telling you. Wait, Tucker knows words. Oh my God.
Who said that?
Heather.
Oh my gosh. I know words. I know. Words are very hard.
Words are hard this late at night.
Oh.
Good night, everyone. Joe's telling everyone good night.
Good night,
sweetheart, back home. He's got the pooches and he's been up early since everyone left town. And oh my goodness, if anybody is salvages, as you're cutting them off your stuff, save them. Put them in a bag. Join me for sewing on fabric softener sheets. I'm telling you what, it's fun, and in the end, we're going to put a quilt together. So for a few Monday nights, I'm going to be doing that and just talking, playing catch up, showing you what I've been up to, and just all in all, having a good time.
Yep.
Hi, Sandy, and welcome. You know, I started getting weird when I'm tired. Yes, Heather, just a tad, just a little itty bitty bit.
That's not weird. Knowing words.
Yes, words are hard.
Words are hard. I sewed this just a little too far down.
It's okay. It's
See,
easier to fix it now than...
You know me, and I'm like you. If I know that I can fix something,
Yep.
I'm taking my time to fix it.
I would rather fix it now than regret it later.
Yep.
Donna, do you use the dryer sheets right out of the box? Absolutely, Sandy. You take one and you just rough it up a little bit in your hands, and it's just something I do. I've learned how to do this sewing onto them, and it just makes it give a little more as it's going through the machine without catching or grabbing. And it's just a blast, and as you sew them up, you just put them in a Ziploc bag, and when you're done, you have a beautiful quilt. You're not going to pull those fabric sheets off. They're going to stay with the quilt for its life. And it's just...
It'll smell good.
It'll always smell good, I guess, until it's washed a million times and you lose that pretty scent. But I don't know. It's just... I like scrappy. And it's just going to be fun. So you have met with Jack 2 times so far tonight, and he is not a happy camper.
When she said that, I went like this.
He gave me the look.
I gave her the side eye. Well, she just had me working all day.
Donna, Tucker, and a big bowl of popcorn. Does it get any better? Absolutely, Barb. Isn't it great?
Mm-hmm.
The cheap dollar store ones work great. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be high. What is it called now? It's not the dollar store.
The dollar.
The $1.25.
Yep.
$1.25 store. That's what Susan calls it.
Yep.
Well, and you can find all kinds of goodness in there.
Well, hey, if that's what Susan calls it, you
Yep.
know that's right.
I believe that's what she calls it.
You know it's right if that's what Susan calls it. We love Susan.
Mm-hmm. So before the live, I did, while you're working on that piece, he's having a date with Jack. So I'll show you what I've got worked up. This is piece number 22. And it came together really nice. Now 19 over on section 1 with a little bit of a bear. But you'll see that as he grabs it to pull it down. Then let me see, 26. These are not in any rhyme or reason or order. I just grabbed them from the stack for this month. As you can see, I left a pin in this one because it's not adhered very well. So the pin will stay with it until I join this together. And
Put a pin
I
in.
just love, this seafoam is very, very light, and it's kind of like light in your face. So you're going to want to really use a light colored thread so that as you're getting ready to quilt this up, or if you don't, pull back your sections and trim out. Because you really don't want those threads in there showing.
Nope.
And that's kind of like, it's going to show more on this than it would your white. I really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is 23. Now when you get down to 23D and 23C, as you can see, there's a little tidbit right there. And that's hard to get in. And I've jacked with it twice, and it goes in, but you just got to manipulate it. I'll share Brenda. Only if you guys are sharing popcorn with me. Shameless self-promotion time. Tomorrow hubby and I are 28 years. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations.
That's fabulous.
Longer than I have even been alive.
Tucker says that's longer than he's been alive. Congrats. Happy anniversary tomorrow. That's not shameless.
That's something to
If one of my moderators could share Kelly's channel, that would be great. I would probably be, when it's cheaper for me to make some. Absolute.
Okay, now let's...
Congrats, happy anniversary. Everybody that's in the chat, if you want, please wish Kelly and her husband a happy 28th wedding anniversary.
Now, let's try that again.
And if you're looking to book a cruise, I'm sure she can help you out with that too, because she's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to get something set up for a bunch of quilters. Not so much a quilting cruise, but let's just go hang out, have a good time. I think that would be fabulous. Thanks everyone. Tucker, you're younger than my kids. Absolutely. My granddaughter and him, my granddaughter's older than him. Now that makes me old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're too hard on yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm honest.
No, you're not. You're younger than my grandma.
My kids started young. Yeah, my oldest granddaughter, Skylar's 18.
I'm almost 18.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's 7 months older than you.
Well, can I please see my rotary cutter?
I don't know where it is. There you go. Okay, Brenda, I'm in Texas. I'll share. Awesome.
I wondered why that was.
Yep.
Okay.
That should pop her channel.
Yep. Okay. We're back on track.
Okay, and then Isaac's what? 14?
16.
16. So yeah. Let me see if I can get her channel to help. Go to channel. I don't have my links, so I don't know what
Is
they
the
are.
stream
So I
on?
will. I don't have them with me, so I'll get this way. Someone did. Yeah, thank you, Day.
Good.
Let me see. Yep. Let's see, well, I know Becca was in here. Trying to drop them as I can remember who all was in here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Heather.
Then I ran out of thread.
And that's okay. We've been quite busy on that machine.
I know. Yeah. Why don't you tell them about your Bernina using experience from beginning to end? So, let me just give you the backstory on my Bernina. Okay. So, my Bernina is the Bernina 570, which is the baseline machine that has like the automatic needle or presser foot lift. And Donna puts her fabric under and she's like feeling back here in the back.
I've never used one.
So she's like, where is this thing? And I'm like, push on the foot pedal. and then it goes down. She's like, well, now how do I move the foot?
I said, how can I tell where 3/4 inch is?
I'm like, it's just like your regular 1/4 inch foot. You line it up on.
You don't have a seam guide. You didn't say line it up on the foot.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. You really didn't. And he goes, just use a ruler and mark your stuff. So that's what I did. And after 3 or 4 goes of it, I found my sweet spot on his machine.
And then
I was like, after I finished piecing a zillion pieces, I said, hey, guess what? It's the side of your foot.
Yeah.
You could have told me like 10 hours ago. But let me see. Show what all I've been up to.
Yep.
I think that's cool. So I've got my binding made for the boho heart. I've got little itsy bitsy tiny blocks made because this girl loves tiny blocks. Let me see what else I've got in my bag of goodness.
Sugar bum 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 bum. Copyright.
And every time I do any of Pat's loans, there's always little blocks to be had. So I'm not going to let anything go to waste. So let me pull these out. These are really quite cute. And they were fun. I'm getting ready to wrap up this sweet childhood memories. And I think we've got like one more block and then it'll be a wrap. This is schoolhouse fun school memories. Words are hard tonight. This is block 13. And it's just a simple tulip. And I'm really liking this quilt as it's coming together. It's going to be fun to see all the different colors that I was able to use in this. And let me see, I worked on block 14. This one was quite comical getting it to come together. This one is called My Favorite Teacher. So look at all this.
But isn't that gorgeous though?
It is. And my quilt's going to have a ton of different colors, which is going to make it even sweeter.
Yep.
So it has all of the little points on it to demonstrate 12 years of school, 12 points, favorite teacher. It goes to show that all of your teachers basically are your favorite. So I think that was kind of cute. And then this is a very, very simple block. And this is called Summer Break. And it really kind of does resemble Summer Break. You know, it goes really fast.
Yep.
So that block came together in like 2 seconds. She makes them itsy bitsy teeny weeny little quilt blocks from her machine. Yes, I do. Yes, yes, yes. I love the little blocks. And my goal is to get them all squared down to about 1.5 inches. And then I'll be going down from there when they're all sewed in. My goal is to have a 1-inch wall hanging quilt.
Like
I think
Tiffany.
that'll be cool. And I want it to be all of the parts of quilts that I've worked on throughout the year. So we'll see.
Yep.
Hi all lurking and laughing. Love tiger colors. Hello Meredith and welcome.
Hello.
I have saved all the blocks for later. I'm sorry, it was behind the heart.
Okay,
There you go.
I'm pulling that one piece out.
Go ahead. That'll work.
Just so I can.
And what's funny is most of the quilts, every time I hang out with you, my quilts have either hit 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 machines. So it's kind of getting to be old hat with us.
That's right.
And
Why
I always
not?
say I'm going to bring my own machine. No, I've got mine.
That's right.
Why not one more thing?
We started tradition.
Yep.
We start a trend.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're trendsetters.
I have saved all the blocks for later. Absolute. So let me see. I've got that done. I have got my pieces built. I have worked on my test quilts. Got a couple other projects that we have brought down. And it's just going to be fun to see how all this stuff, all this goodness comes together over the course of the weekend. We do have a couple business meetings tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully get 2 more quilts done.
Yeah.
And if the good Lord willing, we can get them all bound up and they'll be packaged and ready to go out whenever.
Yep.
So, let me see. I have not worked on anything new, still making bags and doing big stitch for the medallion quilt. Cool. Tucker, love your quilt you hung behind you on the long arm.
Yes, the one that is behind Donna. It's the red and the, what color is that? The red and the green. Wow.
Colors are hard now.
Yeah, really. That was actually my first foundation paper piecing project. And that quilt was my first time foundation paper piecing at all. My crazy brain, probably because I was like, 15 at the time, thought I knew the whole world, or knew everything in the world. I thought I can do this without doing a test block. And, I went slow in the beginning, and there sure was some, some challenges and, ups and downs. But unlike Donna, once I, figure out my way of doing it, I can excel. So the quilt that is behind Donna is the Jacqueline Dijon Daydream. The Enchanting Stars is the rainbow one. That is the Daydream quilt, and that was a Craftsy tutorial. Jacqueline Dijon did a Craftsy class for that pattern, and I had just signed up for Craftsy, and I thought, why not? So
that's the way you're going to learn it, by doing.
Yep. That's right. Okay, now I need to sew this to this.
Yep. That's coming together really nice.
Uh-huh. Except for that.
And now I'll get lost in the quilting.
That's right. When I quilt it.
You know you're going to.
I know. Unless you get that pro stitcher, and then I'll have to come up and give you a lesson.
Yeah, it'll be on this quilt.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I remember you doing that.
Yep.
Jacqueline said she remembers you doing that.
Yep. Yeah, I did that a while back.
Yep.
For me. Yeah, and then today we had to drop quite a few packages off at the post office. Both me and Donna had a pile collected.
Yep.
And we went to the post office, and I said, okay, time for Starbucks. We need to get a cake pop. And we didn't even get Starbucks. We, got sidetracked. But we went to another quilt shop, of course. And I said, I was walking by the other day, or, in the area, and I saw that you moved. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, you moved buildings. I said, you had a smaller building before. And she said, well, that was
2 years ago.
2 years ago. I said, well, holy moly.
It seemed like last week.
I said, it seemed like last week I was in here. She said, it's been a while since you were in here. I said, well, it must have been. And then we, all laughed and chuckled about it.
Right, but we had to deal with COVID. Then your house moved and the renovation.
Yep, and everything else in between.
So.
Yep. And that happens. You just lose track of time.
Absolute. Catch the rest in the morning. It's late. Good night, Tony, and God bless.
Night. Work that in just a wee bit. It's a little funny when you're connecting 12 to, wait a minute. When you're connecting the 9, 10, 11, 12 section to 13, it's a little bulky and full.
Absolute.
The tiger is full. That's one thing I would like to do, is go to like Africa or whatever and do the tour where they take you around in that little Jeep buggy, whatever you want to call it, thing, and they show you all the different animals, and that would be cool. That would be cool. Pop that. Popsicle. So yeah.
I think it's fine. And now tell me why you're pulling the paper out for those that don't know that's doing FPP.
Yep. Okay. So when you put your sections together. You sew on the solid line. There's two lines. There's a solid line, which is your sew line, and your dotted line, which is your cut line. And once you're done piecing your block, you're going to cut on that dotted line. And you're going to lay everything out. But once you sew your pieces together on that solid line, wow, I need to go to bed. But once you sew on that solid line, you're going to press your seams open. Foundation paper piecing when you're doing anything, and I wish somebody would have told me that when I was doing that quilt over there, because I didn't press my seams open on that one. Can you believe it? But you always want to press your seams open because foundation paper piecing is a little bit more bulky than regular, normal piecing, traditional piecing. So you press your seams open. And if you were to press your seams open with that paper in the seam, it would really, really be bulky.
Yep.
So you always want to just pull the paper out in that seam. And the line that you sewed will help perforate that paper, and it's easy to tear out that 1/4 of an inch worth of paper on each side.
Absolutely. Now, what is that stick that you're using for those that don't know what it's called?
Well, they can't see the stick, so I will press this and then hold the stick up.
What's the technical term?
I don't know. It's like a press. It's a wool press stick, and I'll hold it up in a second, but the idea is that it's rounded. It's sort of like a half of a circle. And what you do is you put your seam that you want to press open on top of that. So your seam is on the almost flat part, and the rest is sort of rolled over this doohickey.
And the purpose of that would be versus a pressing mat. What would the difference?
So when you're doing this, it just helps to keep the seam flatter and all of the extra, sort of out of the way. And also it helps to open that seam up because most irons are like this, that it has the point. And when you're using a press mat, the weight is distributed, all over. But with this, it's just down the center. So it helps push that seam open a little bit more. And my dear table mate friend, Sue, gifted this to me. So I will always be thankful to her for giving it to me. Okay, let me hold this thing up. So it's this right here. So you put the seam that you want to press open on the top of the curve. And I know that the Fat Quarter Shop has these, and this is the EWE, and me mat, and I'll hold that up right there so you can see it. There we go. And then when Sue gifted this to me, she said, "For my friend Tucker." On the back.
Yep.
So
I think it's a darling.
Yeah. It really does come in handy when you're doing
a tailor's ham.
Yep.
Mary called it.
Tailor's ham. Sure. Never heard that term before.
Tucker's like, yes.
Sure. I know exactly what that is. No, I don't. But if that's what the technical term is.
Oh my goodness.
I just call it a doohickey. What happened?
Janine's quilt is finished. Can you hold this up?
Which in the Bargello?
Yes, her
okay.
Bargello.
Let me nail this in place.
I think it's darling. Here you go. You'll be able to show it.
Yep. Yep.
What he's showing you now is Janine's Bargello. I like the bullnose stair thingy better. You'll have to send me a picture of that, Heather.
Yep. So you really can't see on it, but Janine quilted they sort of look like waves on it. Mm-hmm. And it really makes it look like, the movement. It adds a lot of movement to her quilt, which is awesome.
Absolutely. I think that's awesome.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, we really had a blast. on my Bargello, was doing the same as Donna, sort of like that king queen size quilt. And mine's still over on my shelf, waiting for that like last jelly roll to be sewn.
Oh.
I'm like, but it'll get done someday.
So you started with us, but you just never finished.
I'm
sorry.
It's all right.
We can finish it tomorrow. There's 24 hours in a day.
With this meeting.
I am like triple your age. Come on. Let's work this.
Y'all. Well, you did get some sleep last night.
Yeah, I got like 4.5 hours.
Which is great.
That's 2 more than him.
That's right. Don't tell Joe.
No.
Because then he'll be sending you up here all the time.
Roll and Helen. Absolute.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. This is going to come together so pretty.
Yep.
Looks like a sunset on the water. Absolute.
Yes, it does. Oh! All these papers are flying.
There's
everywhere.
quite a bit of paper there.
Yep. And that's okay.
Yep. But one thing you can do as you're like building out all of your pieces, you can go ahead and start piecing that section together. Like if you get 1, 2, and 3, go ahead and work it together. What I always like to do is just get all of section 1 done. That's going to tell you whether you want to stick with the whole quilt or not.
Yeah.
We've had some people stick with them, and some are like, I don't know if this is for me or not.
Yeah, and I know for me especially, like I'm the type of person that I get bored like very, very quickly. So especially with the Legit Kit muscle car, because I am working on that slowly. Because I want to take my time on it. It's cool and I want to enjoy the process of putting my first legit kit together.
Absolutely.
So what I do is I pre-cut, like Donna did, all of the fabric ahead of time for maybe like 2 or 3 blocks. I sew it. And then I cut more. Because if I would pre-cut everything, I would be so bored and sick of it. But it paces myself.
Right.
Makes it fun.
If you do like 2 or 3 blocks a day, you'll have it knocked out in no time at all. And now you've seen mine.
Yeah.
And that's one that we've done.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, we've had a busy couple days. Finished that off. It's been a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Donna calls me. It was Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were on the phone. It was like 4 o'clock Wednesday, the day before she was whatever. She's like, I have this idea. She threw it back in my face. And she's like, since we're going up to your grandma's, how about we take some cool pictures of this car up at grandma's? I said, well, gotta finish it first. She's like, what? You didn't finish it yet?
I mailed it to you 3 weeks ago.
I'm like, well, I've been trying to get the perfect pattern.
Right.
And we narrowed it down between 2 patterns. And of course, she put the decision on me. Now, you have to know, me. I'm the type of person when someone asks me, where do you want to go out to eat? I'll say, how about you choose? I don't know. I'm fine with whatever. So I can't do that. There's some quilts that I know exactly what are going to be on them. But then there's those quilts that I can't visualize it because it needs to be awesome.
Let me get my quilt for those that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so I'll put it on me until we bring it over here and tell the rest of the story. So Donna's like, you need to get this thing done before 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'm like, great. I'm like, I really don't have a thread that matches. And I don't know what design I'm going to do. So see you in the morning. So I rooted through my shelf of threads and I found the thread. It was like it had fallen behind back there.
Yep.
And it was the perfect shade of gray. It wasn't too light. It wasn't too dark. And it was just gorgeous. And I found this pattern on the Statler by Christine Perego. And if you don't know her, go check her out. She's one of the Gamble educators. And they can't see yet.
I know.
She's one of the Gamble educators, and she has really, really modern and awesome work. And I thought this pattern will look absolutely amazing on this quilt. So my machine busted to get this done, and it ran full speed for 4 hours, and we did really dense quilting on this. And are we ready for the unveiling? Here we go. Okay, you're on.
This is my car.
That's
Mama. this is the flames because it's so stinking hot. We had to put flames on it.
Look at it. Gorgeous. Yes, that's happening.
I don't know if I can
Yeah, like right there. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at all that. See the texture in it, the modernness. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It turned out absolutely amazing.
Yep.
So, you know, it's gorgeous.
There's not enough I can say for this one.
Yeah. I knew because as soon as we found out that we were getting these cars, Donna's like, you're doing it, right? I'm like, yeah, I sort of figured. And so I knew I was going to be doing an edge to edge because I knew Donna needed hers done.
Like yesterday.
Like, yeah, before she even got it. So I knew I was going to do an edge to edge. And
I said start looking.
Yeah, she did. And of course, me, procrastinate. And I know that Mike wants me to do some out of the water custom on mine. So I did edge to edge on a car, and then I'm going to do custom probably this summer. I'll have mine done. So yeah. I don't know what the chat says about it. I don't even have it pulled up. Isn't that sad?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Di says it turned out absolutely beautiful. Guess who? Nancy said, wow, it's gorgeous. Awesome. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. Awesome. Gorgeous. Okay, let me.
I do not want to undo that whole quilt.
No.
So I'm just showing this so they might be able to see. Tell me when it's up.
Like right there.
Okay.
So, the quilting that I did on this is an edge to edge that came with the Statler. It's like a beachy pattern. And we picked like this green, like almost like a seafoam green thread on the top. And I made the pattern as big as I could. And on the back, this is the fabric that Donna got from Verna's. It was a 108.
No,
it was a 120.
Yeah, 120.
And so we used like a baby blue thread on the back. And that's
going to be the pillow sham.
Yeah, that's
the quilt's too big for me to unfold to show you.
Yep. But that quilt took all day, and then we went to Target to celebrate, and come back, and then we put Donna's boho heart on, and the Statler has a row and a half to do on that yet, and then that'll be a king size quilt and a queen size quilt done today.
And I think we've done fab.
Yeah, we have. And then, our crazy brains are like, let's put on this other quilt tonight.
Let's just lock them all in.
Uh-huh. So, yeah.
So, it's after 11.
Uh-huh.
We've kept everybody a hot minute tonight, and it's getting quite late.
Uh-huh.
So, do you want to do another piece, or are you just good?
I think I'm good. I don't want to pull Jack out again.
No. So, with all of that being said, thank you guys for joining us tonight and dealing with all of our crazy starts.
Uh-huh.
And all of the fun of everything that we've been up to, all the shenanigans.
Yep.
We are going to do some form of a recap video and shoot it out on both sides of the house. And it'll be fun, just from Grandma's adventure and all over. So, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Take care, God bless, and have a fabulous evening. Thank you to my moderators, and thank everyone for joining us tonight. It means the world to us that you were here for us tonight, and you hung tight while we were flying out here.
Doing some crazy, yeah.
So, it's been fun. Take care, and we're going to have a fabulous rest of our weekend, and we'll see you again real soon.
Yep.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.